Tonight on Location, 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 we're in Bristol, on the search for the perfect Victorian love nest for our couple, Nicky and Paul. We're looking for 2 bedrooms, a garden for barbecuing, and if possible, a den, all for the sum of £100,000. Sounds tough? Even we weren't prepared for what was to happen.
I'm a bit stunned.
Only 2 hours out of London and you're in Bristol, the largest city in the southwest. Bristol can be many things to many people. Essentially, it's a multicultural, cosmopolitan city with one of the best music and club scenes in the country.
It's the ideal home for this week's couple, Nicky and Paul. They've rented a flat together for 4 years. Well, along with Paul's mates.
I find I end up doing all the tidying. And these lads we live with, lovely as they are, you'll find beer cans everywhere. No one thinks to do washing up and cleaning the bathroom. I think I've got you boys to do it once in the last 2 years since you lived here.
We made a good job of it.
You made a palaver out of it. It was an afternoon event.
Nicky and Paul are after a 2-bedroom house with a garden big enough for Paul and his mates to barbecue in. Ideally, it would be a Victorian property with lots of original features.
It'd be nice though if you had some features, fireplace, that sort of thing, a few original bits. Bit of character in a house.
Yeah, a bit of
something a little bit unusual.
So what is your budget?
Around about 100,000.
100,000,
Yes.
OK. Give or take a bit, or give or take nothing? Either
Could
way.
go above, but preferably not.
With our own place, you could look to have an extra room that we haven't got here as a sort of fun room. I think it'd be a boys' room.
Do you now? I think that might be up for debate.
Well, OK, could be a boys' room. Or a girls' room.
Or a girls' room, I thought you'd agree. I'll decorate it in the colours I like and then you might decide you don't want to make it a boys' room.
Perhaps.
So, garden, 2 beds, good-sized kitchen and sitting room, period property, for no more than about 110 grand.
Yes,
Not
please.
too much of a tall order.
Bristol's housing stock ranges from typical Victorian terraced houses to contemporary warehouse conversions on the docks and Georgian villas. Overall, the cost of property matches the national average, although prices vary widely depending on location. Clifton, where Nicky and Paul are renting, has long been one of the most sought-after areas of Bristol due to its views of the city, its Georgian terraces and its shops, restaurants and green space. You pay for it too. A 2-bedroom flat can cost £180,000 and even a garage can set you back £35,000.
So, Nicky and Paul want a 2-bedroom house and they're hoping to find one for around £100,000. Since they're also concerned about moving too far away from their friends, they'll need an affordable, up-and-coming area close to the city centre so they can enjoy Bristol's nightlife. Sounds a challenge, but we found it in Totterdown, Windmill Hill and Southville. These areas are definitely on the up. They may be situated south of the river, but they are the same distance from the city centre as Clifton, and that's only a 15-minute walk. Here, Nicky and Paul's £100,000 is likely to buy them a Victorian home with a garden.
This is our first property and we're in St Luke's Crescent.
This house is on the market for 50 quid short of 100 grand.
Wow.
I think the owners of this house must be very keen on yellow, but it's a fantastic room, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's got
Very nice.
Victorian fireplace.
Pine everywhere. It's quite like that.
Do you like wood? Do you like wood?
Yeah, I like the wood, I like the
Wood
wood
is
effect,
nice.
actually. That's been knocked through.
My friend's just done hers all.
So what's your initial impression?
Very nice, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes on a viewing, you can just feel those positive vibes. Nicky and Paul were doing a lot of smiling.
This is a nice size
Built some
bedroom.
wardrobes as well.
Are they? Or are they freestanding?
Good sized second bedroom.
Yeah, there's double beds.
You could get a double bed in, couldn't you?
Yeah. This is the most staggering view, though. Come and have a look.
That is lovely, isn't
It
it?
is. It's really beautiful.
If it wasn't for railway tracks, there'd be other buildings you wouldn't enjoy.
That's right, yeah.
This place gets better and better, even down to the smallest room.
My word.
It's enormous.
That is
That's
fantastic size.
That is a big bath.
There is loads.
Couldn't fit the rest
You
of
could
your
probably
rugby
fit
team
Nicky in that bath as well at the
Yeah.
same time.
But not the rest of the rugby team, isn't that what you guys do? You all bath together?
Yeah, we tend to, but not in the
You get a mate in there?
biblical sense.
From a first-time buyer perspective, it's ideal because a lot of the sort of hard grind has been done, like the wooden floors,
Opening up of the living room.
you know, all that kind of thing. But there's still a lot you can do to it. You can really add value to it.
They'd even converted the loft into a playroom, ideal for Paul.
They've really done this very carefully. They've tied up all the brickwork, beautiful beams.
But I could see this. You could have this as the office, PlayStation,
Boys' room.
boys type
Yeah, I
room.
could play in here.
Yeah.
There could be that. That might be.
Yeah, drinking room.
Yeah.
And then you'd never leave. Because you wouldn't be able to get down the stairs. Just sleep in here.
It's nice to have some options. We're looking for a 2-bed house, and we've got a 2-bed plus an extra room.
Yes.
So whichever way around, we've got a room that you hadn't expected to find.
Yeah,
for
it's
the
an
money.
added
And
bonus.
we found it.
A well-converted loft not only increases living space, but if you're lucky, could add as much as 30% to the value of your property. You'll need planning permission. As a rule of thumb, if other lofts in the street have been converted, you should be in luck. But don't buy anything on the assumption you'll get the go-ahead. It may never happen. If you do decide to go for it, be careful that any alterations you make comply with building regulations. You'll need a proper staircase, escape windows and self-closing doors.
What a place! It's barely 10 o'clock on day 1 and already I've got that warm feeling.
So
The vendors have found themselves something, and they're moving to Ireland.
Yes.
I don't know how long this has been on the market, but I'm always very pleased to hear when the vendors have found something and they're moving away, and the words come down the line that they are very keen to sell.
Right.
So there'd probably be an opportunity to get it for less than what they're asking.
What do you think? I mean, I really like it.
Good size. All the rooms are good sizes. There's no like tiny room, big room.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
I'm not. You can't be. It's wonderful that you're thinking about putting an offer, and it's wonderful that the first thing that we've found for you like, because that's what we're here to do. But we've got other things to show you.
I'm going to disagree with you
Why?
because it's Friday. And if you do like this house, and if we could make an offer which could be agreed by the end of today, that would mean that the Saturday viewers would not ever see it. Because the thing is that it's Saturday that a young couple exactly like you
Yes.
would be looking.
Off work.
You're off work today,
What do you think?
I'm a bit stunned. I'm a bit stunned.
but you've been looking for 4 weeks.
It's very different to anything we've looked at.
Absolutely. we
Very
haven't looked at
different.
Anything like this.
It's-
all been more 1930 style
yeah.
houses. This is more period. It's got some nice period features, and like you say, a lot of the work's been done. A lot of the big work's been done. And
But you can see where you can sort of put your mark to it
yeah.
and improve it.
I'm inclined to think, get on the phone, at the very least express a very strong interest with the agent. See a couple more, but I'd like to have this tied up by the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's against my principles to let someone have the first thing they see, so onwards. Just a 5-minute walk away from St Luke's Crescent, our second property is on Bellevue Road. It's on sale for £94,950. It's got 2 bedrooms and a large garden as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice sized living room.
Quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, it is big.
Yeah.
I think it's
Bay
bigger
window.
than the last one because the door is wider, the house is wider, and a bay window is
Bay
so
windows,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second living room, stroke dining room.
This is really a dining room.
Yes.
Yeah, it is, isn't
I mean,
it?
It is.
it's not got any other use, as it were.
No, we've come into this room and all the features have gone. The bits and pieces that we liked from next door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be very inclined to
Big
knock down
kitchen.
this wall and open up the kitchen and have a big kitchen sitting room.
This house is bigger than St Luke's Crescent, but it doesn't make the most of the extra space and doesn't have the same charm.
They're not going to buy this house. It's not right for them.
To make this house fit its true potential, you'd have to do a considerable amount of work, particularly downstairs. More than £6,000 worth of work. If you did that, then I'm sure you would add to the value and find it was a very valuable house.
But you see, I don't feel we're getting the real nice vibe that we'd actually spend the time knocking the walls down and stuff. Because if you're not excited about it, we won't ever get around to doing it. Because it's big money, big effort, big time to do it.
Well, money's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the first one's still ahead, but just to be sure, we're on to the next property. An end-of-terrace house in Southville, priced at £86,980.
Come on in, everyone.
Now, this is more like it. This house has the character and the gloss to suit Nicky and Paul. All the rooms are a good size and the layout is excellent.
However, unlike St Luke's Crescent, this property leaves little scope for improvement or to add value.
What did you say?
It's nice, yeah.
You seem to have used that word a lot in this house.
Everything is nice, too nice.
And then from the rather nice little garden, we caught sight of the view.
Now, don't use the word nice, Paul.
No, I don't think the word nice applies in this context.
No, it's a lovely house inside.
But say you bought this house, when you came to sell it, people were wandering through going, oh, lovely house, lovely house. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. And move on.
Yes.
And
So
as you say, 5 years' time, who knows what's here.
So it's important for you both to think about the resale, your resale in 3 or 5 years' time. Does it ruin it for you?
A little bit, yeah.
Yes. And I think I'd seen this sort of from before we came in, and maybe that's what has
Made it difficult
made it
inside
difficult
the house.
inside, because
Yeah.
inside is
It's nice.
beautifully done.
Yeah,
And as Paul says, it's nice.
It's 10 to 5. I'm really concerned that we should get on the phone.
About house one.
Yeah, house
Yeah.
one.
I think,
I think house
yes, having seen a few others,
Perhaps,
I'm
I think-
quite excited about house one now.
one. Yeah.
Even more so.
Absolutely.
You sure, Paul?
Yeah, absolutely.
You sounded unsure for a second there.
No, not at all. I was going to say was, I mean, house one may not have been actually that much bigger. It had the additional room in the loft.
It felt
It
bigger.
felt
did
bigger because
feel
it
a
was on
lot
3
bigger.
stories.
Yeah, it did feel bigger.
A bit
that was
unusual,
really
a bit
nice.
quirky sort of features that made it feel different to a normal 2 up, 2 down type house.
So, St Luke's Crescent, masses of character, a great view and an attic full of potential. It seems we've found Nicky and Paul their perfect home. But is it all happening too fast?
So, have you
Speed
two
it
had
up.
enough of a chance this afternoon to talk about the house and other things that you've seen? And you're
Yes.
now happy to submit that offer of 97,000?
I think I am. Are you?
I
Yes.
think. Are you sure?
We can't have things.
We don't. Well, we
need
don't. I mean,
confidence.
we don't.
I am
no, no, no.
going to
am,
spend
We
I
don't
am.
want to push you into making an offer too early.
No.
It can be done in the morning, but if you want to do it now, I will happily do it now.
Nothing's going to change to the morning. I like it. I would say
I can't
Will you
see.
spend 97,000 on
I
it?
would spend 97,000 on it.
David, hi, it's Kirstie again. I've talked to Nicky and Paul, and they don't really want to sleep on it. They really feel very strongly that that's the house for them, and they want to make an offer of 97,000.
So for the first time ever on Location, our people are about to put in an offer on the first place they've seen. Unbelievable.
Okay, bye. He said he'd call us back within 10 minutes.
Oh my word!
We're in Bristol with Nicky and Paul. We've shown them 3 houses so far, but they're still head over heels in love with the very first one we saw. We've put in an offer of £97,000 and are now desperate for a response from the vendors. We know they're hoping for at least £98,500, but we're going to stand our ground.
Okie doke. Okay, thanks very much. I will ring you back as soon as I've had a chance to speak to Nicky and Paul about this. Great, thanks so much. Bye.
They want more money.
They want more money and we're not going to give it to them.
No.
It's as simple as that. We're going to stick to our guns. If we have to stick to our guns and think about it overnight, we're going to stick to our guns and think about it overnight. 97 is a good, strong offer. He's just coming back because he doesn't want to accept our first offer, and he's saying he's going to split the difference between the asking price and our offer, and he wants 98.5. And I think, personally, but what do you think?
You ring him back and say 97 or
97,
take it or leave
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Let him dwell on it overnight.
So
Nicky and Paul are sure that we've found them the right house, but we want to be certain. Tomorrow, we're going to make sure that nothing's slipped through the net. So back to the streets in search of something to test Nicky and Paul's resolve.
They need to have their nerve tested and to be stretched a bit. I don't think we've got a problem with St Luke's. I think if we hold on, they will take 97. But what I'm slightly concerned about is they've been so quick to make up their mind about that one. Is it really right?
Well, they've seen other things before we arrived, and that's a strong house.
Yeah.
What we must do is confirm in our minds, and indeed in theirs, that that is the right house, and the only way of doing that is heading out and seeing some more.
In our quest to test, we've come to Windmill Hill, the next Bristol property hotspot. As an up-and-coming area, it's exactly the sort of location that Nicky and Paul might be considering.
A good buy is not just about finding the right property, it's about choosing the right area. It's always the same. As soon as you hear about an up-and-coming area, it's already up and come and prices have shot through the roof. So how do you stay one step ahead of everyone else? First, get a map. Note the areas where prices have already risen or been consistently high, and look for the areas in between. Walk around and check for those telltale signs of an area on the up. Sold signs, evidence of renovation, new bars and a dead giveaway, new estate agents. Next, visit your town hall planning office. Are there any new facilities like transport links planned for an area? You can also find out which areas developers have big plans for. Check the school league tables. People will fight tooth and nail to move to the catchment area of a good school, increasing demand for property and pushing up prices.
So, back to our search. After looking at a number of properties in Windmill Hill, we think that we've found something special. The house Kirstie and I have spotted is more expensive than St Luke's Crescent at $120,000, but we think if Nicky and Paul can stretch to make the extra investment, in a few years' time they could be sitting on a gold mine.
Kirstie and I have just been into the house behind us to meet the vendors. We've had a quick scoot around. The house is very, very impressive indeed. Pretty much exactly what they're after.
Exactly.
The problem is the asking price is $120,000, which is right at the top of their budget, and we're not sure, regardless of how impressive the house is, whether Paul and Nicky would actually stretch that far. We've come outside to ring them and find that out before taking it any further.
At £20,000 more than St Luke's Crescent, you'd expect added benefits, and this property has them. It's got 2 additional rooms and even a conservatory looking onto the garden, ideal for Nicky and Paul's barbecue parties. Increasing their mortgage an additional $20,000 would cost them around an extra £35 a week. That's too attractive an offer to be missed, and so they're heading over to see it. Will this one blow St Luke's Crescent out of the water?
Wow.
Very nice.
That is nice.
Excellent.
It's a bit different, isn't it? I thought you'd like the
Original
fireplace.
staircase, quite
Fireplace is
rustic fireplace,
gorgeous.
which they obviously use with the real fire. Really nice corner sink.
Oh, it is nice.
It is nice.
It is nice.
And they've knocked straight
And
through
then
into the kitchen.
straight through to the kitchen.
And the view from the sink might even get Paul doing the dishes.
It is a beautiful view. It really is. Now, I think this is an absolute joy. It's a laundry room with a second loo.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Fantastic. That's
Yeah.
good.
It's for watching telly,
Party
playing
room.
PlayStation and
Yeah.
doing stuff at night.
She went bright red when we first came into the living room. Her first 2 seconds were, oh God, this is fantastic. I think they're going to find this really difficult. It's really going to tease them.
This is a lovely room.
It's
It's
huge.
massive.
Right?
You don't feel like you're in a basement at all, no. Oh, it's a cute little garden, though.
It's a lovely garden, isn't it? peaceful and quiet. I mean, if you compare it to St Luke's Crescent, there's no railway track and there's no road.
No, that's true.
It's true.
My first impressions when I went into the place was, it's lovely. I mean, I think showed on my face. I thought it was lovely.
A real reaction.
Yeah. If I think about it, I don't know practically if I do like having the kitchen open.
Yeah.
And
There's
I don't
more
know
space
if I
here,
like. I
it's
feel
bigger.
going downstairs to that sort of extra room.
Yeah.
Which you probably rarely use.
I can see it getting lost a bit.
Yeah.
In winter, I can see you never go down there.
Yeah.
I like this house. This is a really nice house, but it doesn't. It's too. It's not as much fun, I don't think, as the other one.
That's brilliant. End of day 2, not even end of day 2, halfway through day 2, and Paul and Nicky are even more convinced that we found them the right house the first time. Let's go and have some lunch, get on the phone, call the agent, and make sure that that house is yours.
We tempted them, but Nicky and Paul just didn't bite. Now they're even more sure that they really want St Luke's Crescent. The house is on the market at £99,950. Yesterday we left the agents and the vendors thinking about the offer of £97,000, whilst they suggested meeting us halfway at £98,500. Kirstie knows that Paul and Nicky would be prepared to pay that to secure this house, but she's not telling the agent that.
Nicky and Paul have sat down and gone through some figures and everything, and we do think that 97 is a good offer because of the fact that they're not in a chain and that they have a good deposit and they have their mortgage already arranged, and we're going to stick to 97. I know your vendor wanted 98.5, but for them that small difference really does make quite a big difference.
Okay.
Nervous.
How long have we been waiting? We've been standing here in the cold for 20 minutes waiting for this call. Okay.
Here we go.
How's the heart rate, people?
Hello?
Ian, hi.
They are going to be chuffed bits. Thank you very much indeed. We will be in touch on Monday. Okay, wonderful. Thanks very much. Bye.
And the sun came.
We got it. We got it. Good work. Good work.
Cool.
We need a drink.
Yeah. Right, let's drink. So let's go and have a beer.
So, a truly happy ending. We found Nicky and Paul a house that they fell in love with immediately. They got it and moved in 7 weeks later.
We are now.
Brilliant. There we are. Look at that.
Congratulations, you two.
Cheers.